It's 2023. Comparing the Xbox 360 and the PS3 seems relevant, right? In this video, we're going to talk all about these two legendary consoles, which console have the better hardware, the better software, better design, and does the Xbox 360 or the PS3 have more and better exclusive games? Stick around till the end to see which console gets the crown. Let's get started. We'll go over some quick history for each console before we begin with the comparison. The Xbox 360 was first released all the way back in 2005. There were two different models at the time of release, the Core and the Pro, which were great consoles at the time. And eventually, the PS3 got first released 1 year later in 2006 in North America and Japan. And a year later, it got released worldwide in 2007. Both consoles released remakes and upgraded versions of the base consoles. Microsoft were quick with releasing a new Xbox 360 model. As early as 2007, they released the Xbox 360 Elite, which had more storage and came in black. They also released the Xbox 360 Arcade that same year, which basically was the same as the Xbox 360 Core, but with way less storage. And then we have the PS3, who just started to hit the shelf in many parts of the world at the same time. Microsoft released another model of the Xbox 360 before the PS3 received its first ever remake. The slimmer, quieter and cooler Xbox 360 Slim got released in 2010, which also was the same year Microsoft introduced the Kinect for the Xbox 360. Then finally the PS3 got its first ever remake. Here we have the same drill as the Xbox 360 Slim. The slimmer, quieter and cooler PS3 Slim got released in 2009. The Slim versions also drew less power. Both consoles received one final remake in 2013, which was the Xbox 360e and the PS3 Super Slim. These remakes basically only changed the shell of the consoles. But let me know in the comments your favorite console and which design you like the most. But what about console specs? To begin with, we have the hard drives. What? No SSDs? Whoa! The Xbox 360 came with a variety of sizes, ranging from 20 to 500 gigabytes, not including the flash storages and memory cards. The PS3 came with a 12 to 500 gigabytes of storage, so there isn't really a difference in storage between the two consoles. The Xbox 360 had 512 megabytes of RAM, which is double the RAM compared to the 256 megabytes of RAM in the PS3. It also has a triple-core 64-bit PowerPC CPU and a GPU produced by Nvidia with a whopping 512 megabytes of video memory. Damn. One major problem with the 360's GPU was that it was frequently overheating. Not only that, but the early Xbox 360 versions used to get red ring of death, leading to the end of many 360's lives. Get this, the PS3 only have one single true core in its 64-bit cell CPU, but it has 8 co-processors. It isn't a traditional CPU, so it's hard to compare it to the Xbox 360's CPU. Although it is known that the PS3's CPU can deliver more performance, but developers had difficulties making games for the PS3 due to the PS3's CPU architecture. Then we have the GPU. The PS3 uses the RSX GPU, which have more transistors and higher clock speed than the Xbox 360. But it has half the VRAM compared to the Xbox 360. While the PS3's GPU shows a higher general performance, the Xbox GPU can reach a higher peak performance. Let's talk design. The Xbox 360 has received many makeovers throughout its lifespan, with major redesigns being the Xbox 360S and E. The original Xbox 360's design didn't really scream gaming, which I quite like, but at the same time it didn't have much personality. The matte and white plastic shell was a safe and modern color option. You can also change faceplates on these, which is pretty cool. Then it got a matte black plastic housing on the Xbox 360 Elite. And after the Elite, we have my favorite, the Xbox 360S. It's smaller, sleeker, matte or glossy black. And your cat can turn it on! And lastly, we have the Xbox One wannabe. Yeah, this was a weird redesign. I don't know who wanna buy this, but if you find it cheap, then go for it. Alright, now the PS3. It started out big and chunky, with a black glossy finish, which got scratches right outside the box. But despite that, it has a futuristic look to it, or at least it had back then. It has a unique shape, which quite frankly, I like. And this console is not cat protected, let's go! Then we have the PS3 Slim, which drastically reduced the size, was made in matte black and had physical buttons. This design looks without a doubt more standard and boring compared to the PS3 Fat. While it looked less futuristic, I still like the matte black and the sleekness, but I still prefer the original Fat PS3 design. Lastly, we have the PS3 Super Slim, which had a weird design. It felt cheaply made and you can slide the disc tray. I'm not really a big fan of this design, but this console was cheaper than the other ones, so I guess it's alright for the price. Moving on to the software. Both consoles features a software where the features are pretty similar, but the UI have a vast difference. The Xbox 360 have received 3 major revisions. The first one was the iconic and simple Blades dashboard. Then in 2008, Microsoft launched a new Xbox Experience, or NXE for short. And the final revision is the Metro dashboard, released in 2011, which is the one my Xbox 360 is running on. And if you have a Kinect, you don't need a controller to interact with the interface. It can be pretty slow, but it's kinda fun. And if you'd like, you can watch YouTube or browse the web on the system. The Xbox 360 also have character customization, which was a nice feature, and it was similar to the Wii, but personally I think Microsoft did a good job on this. And if you're wondering about the marketplace, yes, it still seems to be fully functional. It seems like it won't be closing down anytime soon, so you can still buy digital games if you'd like. Ew! Overall, I really like the software. It's easy to navigate, it's simple, and unlike the Xbox One's software, there isn't any ads all around the interface. Then we have the PS3's software. Unlike the Xbox 360, it haven't received any huge revisions. It is using the X-Cross media bar as its graphical shell, meaning that the home screen can be navigated up, down, left and right. Like the Xbox 360, the store still works on the PS3. But in my experience, it was buggy as hell. For example, when I wanted to go back, nothing really happened. Here's your avatar selection on the PS3. I prefer the Xbox 360 avatar selection. You can say goodbye to YouTube on your internet browser. But don't worry, you can still flex by buying an Apple product on the PS3. What a beat! If you're curious of which OS is better, then I'd say it all comes down to personal preferences. And I almost forgot, the PS3 is a Blu-ray player, so if you have many Blu-ray discs, this is a perfect Blu-ray player. When it comes to games, both consoles have awesome exclusives, such as The Last of Us.
Run! Go! Go! Move!
Forza Motorsport 3, Gran Turismo 5, and Kinect Sports. These games are still very playable today and still holds up strong. And if you're wondering, no, not every exclusive is compatible on the Xbox One or PS4. So if you like exclusives, then you have another reason to pick up one of these consoles. the amazing thing about games for the Xbox 360 and PS3 is that loads of great games can be found for only a couple of bucks. Anyways, let's start taking a look at some of the Xbox 360 games. This console have exclusives like Halo 3, Gears of War 3 and Forza Motorsport 3. Hopped on some Forza and honestly, it still looks great visually and runs smoothly. The PS3 also have wonderful exclusives such as the Uncharted series, The Last of Us and Gran Turismo 5. And just like the Xbox 360, the games for the PS3 still runs great and looks great. I wrote this in my script but I don't have any backwards compatible games, so pause if you wanna read this. So which console comes out as the king? To start off, the Xbox 360 had a way better launch, it was priced for way less and got released way before the PS3. But that information isn't really relevant as of today. Both consoles received new and fresh versions, which was a great upgrade from the originals, and here you have the full timeline of all Xbox 360s and PS3s. Then we have the CPUs and GPUs. The CPU architecture on the Xbox 360 was easier to make games on, but the time passed on, the PS3 got some great games and the CPU showed to be a tiny bit faster compared to the Xbox 360. But the GPU and RAM in the Xbox 360 outperformed the PS3 on the other hand. But to be honest, when I'm playing, I can't even notice any difference in performance. I like both the softwares, but it's easier to navigate on the Xbox 360 in my experience. And for the games, well, this one is completely up to you. See if you like any exclusives and pick the console that you think have the best ones. And remember, the Xbox 360 has the Kinect, while the PS3 has the PlayStation Move. Therefore, both consoles comes out as kings. You will enjoy either console, so go with the one that your heart desires. You can find the consoles fairly cheap today. You can get both consoles for under 50 bucks and might even comes with some games. And if you're buying an Xbox 360, please get the Slim or E if you find one for a good price to minimize the chance of getting Red Ring of Death. I mean, you don't wanna end up like this. Anyways, haven't decided which one to get or want to see more of these consoles? Then check out these two videos about how it is owning an Xbox 360 and a PS3 today. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next video. Really? Again? Again? What the actual fuck?